Hello my loves, welcome to my channel. My name is Liv. This is Liv Talks because I love to talk. And today I want to talk to you about The Artist's Way Week 2. That it's taken me one whole month to complete. What a long month this week has been. I don't know how to explain this to you except, let's just label it ADHD. Not that I'm diagnosed, but I'm gonna self-diagnose because oof. I don't know if it's because it's a hard work to do this whole artist's way and it creates a lot of resistance inside. I don't know about you, if you had this experience, if you've been doing it. I know that to begin with, I have resisted doing this artist's way for at least 5 years. So I guess that taking a week, or actually taking a month to do a week, is not that bad if you really compare the timelines. Or maybe let's just admit that I am an inconsistent person, that I have no notion of time, that I use all of my responsibility and logistics skills to my work as a flight attendant, because there I have to be right on, and I am highly professional at my work and I use all of my skills there. And then in my personal life, I miss appointments. I sit down to do this work, and I'm like, even today I sit down, I'm gonna do it. Today is May 1st and I started week 3. So that's why I'm talking to you about week 2, because we're going to talk about the past. And then I didn't do it yet. It's already 1 or 2 p.m. and I did not do it. And I was actually, last week, I joined an accountability group to do this artist's way. And I had, even though there's a support group and every morning the girls are going like, yes, I've done my morning pages. My last time I did my morning pages, actually the 26th of April, the 25th of April, and then I didn't do it since the 13th, so I spent 12 days without doing them. Then I did it for 2 days, and today is May 1st, and I was supposed to do it. And however, I am a great believer in magic, and that there is a higher intelligence in charge of all of this. And there are things that have happened this month that I can only attribute to a deeper artistic journey like this one, because a lot of really different and weird things happen. And I want to share with you those stories, even though I wasn't perfect on the book sense of life. Things happened that I feel like there was a little progress as an artist, a little, because I do still feel inside of me, confession time, I feel like I'm a star, that I'm made to be in world stages, that I'm made to be, actually not only I feel it, I had visions of this in my meditations, in my dreams. I once even had a dream, and this is a very private dream, but because you're my friend, I'm gonna tell you. I dreamt that Morgan Freeman, God, if you see movies, God, I dreamt that Morgan Freeman said to me, I want to show you something. And he carried me on his lap and we started flying around. And this is like a year ago I dreamt this, right? He started flying me around and he flew me around this convention, like a hotel convention where there was a lot of dancers and a lot of outfits and glitz, like a ballroom convention, but it was an Argentine tango convention. And what happened was that Morgan Freeman was telling me, you're gonna be the world's best tango dancer. And this is all for you. All these dresses are for you to choose. All these people are here for you. The whole hotel organized all of this to see you as the best world tango dancer ever. I woke up from that dream and no, I am not the world's best tango dancer. I never aspired to be, but I do remember always wanting to be a dancer in my life. And here is where the artist's way comes, because it's interesting that I was a ballroom dancer in my life. And if you see previous videos of me on this channel, I do tell my whole story when I was a ballroom dancer and how traumatic that was, because It got involved with the abusive relationship, a marriage that I had, and a lot of things happened. And this was about 10 years ago that I was living this dream of becoming a dancer, right? And then, unfortunately, I had to divorce my then husband, which was very painful. And at the time, I divorced the dream as well. I kind of put the dream away and never thought about it. I became a flight attendant and I started traveling the world, which has given me an amazing life of traveling the world. I'm always in a different place and I love traveling the world. I love my job right now. However, this dream, you know, when it's like, it's here and it wasn't gonna come out if it wasn't for this book, because I was very comfortable in drowning the dream down. I was always dancing, let me tell you. Like, dancing is my thing, is my therapy, is where I feel the happiest. However, the dream of dancing as a professional dancer outside and performing, forget about it. Forget about it. Why was I gonna do that? No, never. No. I thought about it. I had visions about it. I obviously had dreams about it, but never. This is when a few weeks into, I think within the first week of reading this book, I was doing some tango classes and my tango teacher said to me, "Hey Livia, we're gonna do a showcase for Earth Day, and I wonder if you want to do some sort of presentation." And I said, "Oh my God, yes, of course I would do a presentation, but I don't have a partner." She's like, "Oh, I think I may have somebody for you." So she's like finding a partner for me. And mind you, at this point, I'm in Sevilla, and Earth Day is on the 24th, and this presentation was on the 26th of April. And I was just not counting much on it because I was in Sevilla in the beginning of April for Easter, so there was not really a lot of time. I was going to come back on the 12th, and it was going to be a little short of time to rehearse for a routine to actually perform properly for an Argentine tango that I am not an expert. I can dance, I have the sensuality, I'm an artist, but I'm not like at all like the most amazing at it, especially that I only started a few years ago. And like, I'm a Gemini, so I always have lots of caveats in my stories. What happened a few years ago in 2023 was that a psychic told me that I needed to start dancing Argentine tango. And I always had the desire to dance Argentine tango, but I never thought much about it. I was like, no, never, no. I know, no. What? Stop thinking about that. That's ridiculous. No. And that day, that December, that this lady, this psychic told me this, it kind of rekindled, like, okay, I have to. And by coincidence of the universe, nothing is a coincidence, hint, hint, I ended up at that February in Argentina because a friend of mine wanted to visit Buenos Aires. I love Buenos Aires. We were there for a week and I started taking dance lessons, tango lessons with an Argentine teacher every day while I was in Argentina. And oh my God, did that rekindle some kind of life and fire into me. Wow, I was so turned on by that dance that I started taking dance lessons. But I was always never thinking that much about it, you know, like I'll take dance lessons, I'll do some milongas. I will be like, every time I dance in a milonga or in a party, everybody's like, "Oh my God, Livia. But I never thought of performing because when I was married with my then husband, every time I made a performance and people clapped, it was not well accepted by my husband because in a way there was a really weird, sick dynamic. And I myself was a closet artist. So, you know, when you're not believing in yourself, you actually attract people that criticize you and put you down a little more because, you know, you need to prove to your ego that you are right. So I created that situation for me back then, never believing I would dance again until now, April, you know, starting the artist's way. This lady found a partner for me. And I said to this partner, "Hey, listen, I'm not going to be in town, so maybe you want to rehearse the routine. And you know the routine, and by the time I arrive, I will just practice the routine with you. I can catch it very fast because I'm a ballroom dancer. I used to be, so I'm going to be good." He was a beginner. So that's what he did. He was very kind. And then when I came back to Miami, we were doing all these rehearsals. And the time that I started rehearsing with him and when I came back to Miami was also a time that I had this fire within me that I taught a class. I taught my, no, it's not my first online class, but it was a class. But I'll tell you about the class in a little bit because that's a second story. But what happened was it was the new moon in Aries on the new Chinese New Year, on the astrological New Year. And I love astrology and I feel all the energies of astrology. So whenever it's a new moon and I wanted to teach my new class, I was investigating what this new moon meant. And drums rolls please. The new moon was, this is the time for you to rekindle a dream that died in 2015, that you thought you would never do it again, but this new moon is gonna bring it back. And that's exactly the time that I started rehearsing with my partner for the Argentine tango. Now let's add another layer to this story because this is where it gets really interesting. Back in 2015, I divorced my then husband called David. And he was, I just noticed that I said the name, but you know what? It's gonna be public. Who cares? I don't care at this point anymore. I divorced my then husband and I killed the dream. And the dream was the most painful part. It wasn't the divorce in and of itself because, you know, that marriage was very doomed. But the dream of dancing, that was what I cried about months and months and months, because it was like a piece of my soul was being buried alive. Fast forward to now, April, new moon, rekindle the dream. Guess what is the name of this new dance partner that my teacher found for me? David. And of course there was a part of me saying, what is this? It's karma. No, this is not gonna work. This is gonna be terrible. And my trauma self is like, no, never again. I don't ever want to see a David in my life. Please delete all Davids from the world. Like, I was screaming so much. So I had to fight this voice down. And I had to say, come on, Livia, you know, this is just a name. It doesn't mean anything. Just because you have this bad experience, it doesn't mean all Davids are like this. I mean, there are Davids in the Bible that were like kind. So just chill and proceed. This is your dream. This is an opportunity. It was easy, showed up for you. It's being presented. Just take it, you know. So I very calmly, every time I had to rehearse, it was a little bit of a PTSD, but I was just like, Also because another layer to this story was that when I married my then husband, right, our plan, because he was a ballroom dancer, I was a ballroom dancer, we got together. We didn't know Argentine tango, so we kind of named that our dance together. We were gonna learn together Argentine tango, we were gonna practice, we were going to do presentations. You know, the dream was ginormous of like being the world's best tango partner dance couple. And obviously we were taking dance lessons, tango dance lessons, and we were always fighting. And he could not, and I could not, and we could not, and it was just a disaster. And every time we would take a dance class together, it was just painful because there was a lot of anger and resentment and envy and competition, and you know, it was a very toxic. I don't wish it on my worst enemy. I don't wish it on him again either, you know. This kind of relationship that I had, and very painful. And so obviously this whole Argentine tango with David was a very open, raw wound that gratefully I was able to close the loop because I did do the performance. It was amazing. It was a very easy routine, very simple. It wasn't like the best performance in the world, but we did do it, no mistakes. Everything was just beautiful, easy, and no PTSD. However, let me tell you, a big success. I'm very happy, and I will probably put here somewhere. I do have it on my Instagram, my outfit. I looked absolutely stunning. I put the whole look, the tango look, the hair, I did the makeup, the hair. I was in full glam, and it was in a beautiful place called the Miami Women's Club, like a beautiful ballroom, and there were plenty of people. And the best thing yet is I had two girlfriends, Marilyn and Anastasia. They came to see me, and I was floored because I never thought that I would have friends like this. And many years ago, I never would have friends like this that were just coming to support me to a thing that it's not even their thing. So I'm very, very grateful. Thank you, Anastasia. Thank you, Marilyn, for supporting me. And thank you, Monica, the teacher that created this whole thing and created this whole moment. And thank you, David, my dance partner, for healing. That was like a beautiful, and round moment. How do you call it? All round, the loop has closed. A full circle. It was a beautiful full circle moment. However, interestingly enough, I don't know if it's part of the process that I've been having, like since I had this high, this peak, this success, me saying, yes, I'm gonna do it. And the second part of the story, I'm gonna add to it. But the thing is, I've been having a very hard month. Like, all these little things that can go wrong will go wrong. Like, I went to do a beauty treatment that went wrong. It's a story for another time, but it kind of made me really feel anxiety and all these things, and something bad happened. Then somebody hit my car the day of the performance. I was driving to my performance, somebody hit my car on the back. Then it's like little things that maybe don't feel like much, but when they're all adding up in a span of 10 days, a coworker of mine accused me of doing something I didn't do and kind of got me in trouble at work. Then what else? I went to get a massage, a deep tissue, and the lady was terrible, so it was a terrible massage. Then I went to get a facial right away, right after. The lady was terrible, the facial was terrible. Then I went to get another beauty treatment, like the fourth beauty treatment that went wrong this week. Like, they had canceled me and they weren't gonna do it, and I had to like fight them. So all these little things were adding up, and I'm like, am I being tested? What is this? When I finally get out of my artist closet, because also the part two is that on the new moon, I decided to teach a class. I decided to teach an amazing class with all of my talents together. And I never thought this would happen because I'm a Gemini. I'm scattered. I'm all over the place. And I'm a poet. I write beautiful poetry. I can channel. Like, if you give me a quiet time and I start tuning in, I start speaking messages from the angels, the guides, everywhere. I can easily channel, like a rampage of messages that I would not say them normally to people. I'm very intuitive. I can catch people in their own like little world. I can read through their files. I can know who they are. I see through people a lot. And then I also can guide people on meditations. Like, the psychic that told me that I was gonna be doing tango dances also said that by the time I'm 60, I'll be able to touch somebody and lower their heart rate. A psychic told me that. I'll be able to touch somebody and lower their heart rate because I have healing hands. And this is not the only person that has told me I have healing hands or healing powers. So I do have healing powers. I can bring people to present moment. I can, with my voice, guide people in their journey, so where they discover themselves. I am a poet, and I love dancing, and I can guide people through a dancing journey as well. And I always thought like, what do I get? What do I go first? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And I wouldn't do anything. ADHD totally, like 10 tabs open and none of it is complete, right? But I finally gathered all my strengths and my focus, and I did do this class, and the class name was Unleash Her, and you will find the link below. It's a class where on Zoom I guided, and in my first class there was only 2 girls, but there were 2 girls. I'm very grateful for these 2 amazing girls. It was a very private class. I'm happy there were no more because I did not prepare. Listen, technologically, I was a mess. You know, I couldn't figure out the way to play songs on Spotify, on Zoom. My microphone, I couldn't figure out the way the camera. I was so nervous. I was so self-sabotaging. I was so all over the place. And I thought I was going to be ready 2 hours before, but then at the time I was late. I wasn't late for the class, but I was late in my process of getting things ready. So when I started the class on time, the things were not ready. And I felt inside like the biggest scam ever, right? But then I took a few deep breaths and I gave my best to these girls to teach the class on Zoom live. And I was gone for a moment. Like my critical brain was like, "You're a loser. You're not. This is a scam. You're not gonna make it." And I was just like, "Please leave the room because now I need to do this because I have two people online, so I need to do it, right?" So I was kind of like there present with another version of myself, meaning I unleashed her, this higher version of me took charge and taught the class. And because my intention was to having recorded this class with a high quality camera to then become a lesson on my course or my empire that I'm building, and that didn't happen. I recorded it on Zoom. I had issues with the Zoom camera that I had. It was pixelated, and then there was technical issues all along. So obviously the Zoom recording, although when I looked back at it and I was editing it, I was like, oh my God, I was on. I delivered the material. The content was beautiful, was centered. I was there. I was very present. I was very helping, very helpful to these girls. They felt the transformation. They were enjoying the class. They had the thing, whatever it is that they had to do. They had it going on, whatever their soul called it there. They unleashed her. They saw this version of themselves and they were dancing. It was amazing. The class was amazing after I saw it. But it was pixelated. There were technical issues. So the Zoom class, it wasn't a material that I could use to make a full class. But I was determined. So after I taught the Zoom class, which is 2 hours of outputting a lot of energy, I sat down because I was like, I already have the hair and makeup and the set. I just need to make sure the camera is working. So I recorded a whole different class, a whole different channeling, a whole different meditation, a whole different set of messages or inspirations or motivations, because I'm here to activate people, a whole new set of activations. And I'm still in the process of editing it. Yes, I'm still in the process of editing it, and it's been 2 weeks. I need a team. I'm not there yet, but I will get there. We're on the way. We're on the way, hopefully. And so because I put myself out there, not only with the dancing, but with my other side of like being a spiritual teacher and being the channeler and the intuitive and the meditation woman, I feel like, when they say in the Bible that when you have a lot of light, the devil will attack you. I felt so attacked that I had to go to a Brazilian candomblé or banda. I don't know if you know what that is, but in Brazil we have this religion which is the orishas from Africa, and then they dance and then they give you a message and they incorporate spirits and the spirits come and they give you a message. So I had to go there to do some sort of energy cleansing because I felt like I had some kind of juju going on. Normally I'm very lucky in my life and things are blessed and things happen and everything is normal. And then this whole time all these glitches of negativity and if it's one thing, okay, I will deal with it, no problem. The first thing. The second thing, okay, I will deal with it, no problem. And then the third thing is like, what the fuck is going on? And then the fourth thing is like, no, come on, what is going on, really? And then the fifth thing, it's like, what do I do now? Like, is this like a domino effect of everything to go wrong in my life? So obviously the trauma brain starts creating a whole bunch of scenarios that are not yet true, but we start creating all this like anxiety that over the future. And I had to really stop, and this was a very, very intense month for me, especially saying that, oh, Gemini is going to start having luck at the end of April because of Uranus in Gemini. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting. I hope it catches up soon because it's May 1st and it's been like a struggle. I had the peaks, the success, the class, and the dance performance. Gratefully, they were a success, but there were so many little negative things in between, in and around. And that, so when I went to Ubanda, I was like, what's going on? And the lady, the spirit said, you are light. You have a lot of light. You just forget that you are a warrior. And maybe this was the way of spirit, God, showing me, remember, you're a warrior. Let's put a lot of war in your war field, so you fight them and you win. But I don't want to have to fight and win anymore. I would really appreciate the universe, God's guides. Just a soft life where I can output my creativity in a higher way that it really benefits whoever is willing to receive the activation and the message, and that I can just be in my center all the time without having to lose my energy. But I am guessing that that's the lesson, and that's the journey of really bringing all of my energy, my power. The whole idea of my class of Unleash Her was, you cannot unleash a false sense of you or a part of you. You need to first be fully present and centered. And in my class, the first segment of my class was arriving, being present, because only once we're whole we can free ourselves. We cannot free just a nice part of us or just this part. We need to be able to see all of it, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the beautiful, and the magical, and the miraculous. It's all together, because no one is one-sided. Everybody is multidimensional, except that some people just want to see one part of them, and they want to show just one part of them, and that stinks, because you can tell when somebody is just hiding a lot of stuff. When somebody's showing a face that it's not who they are, you can tell. You can tell because you look at that person and that person stinks energetically, not physically. Maybe they have very fancy perfume, but they're like, I don't know. Or maybe you are gullible and you believe them, and then they do something to you and you're like, well, I should have known. Anyhow, when you are whole, complete in yourself, and you're able to unite left brain with right brain, create it's called unios mentalis. It's when you are able to utilize the balance between your feminine and your masculine, your creative and your logical, your chaotic and your orderly, and you're able to create your own personal balance in your own micro world, your system. That's when you are able to achieve a higher level of being, which in a higher dimensions, all is inclusive. There is no good and bad. There is no duality. There's only unity. And when we are able to reach this unity within us, within our brain, our energy field, that's when we're able to unite with everybody and create a sense of oneness, which will create a sense of love and compassion. And then utopically, we all love one another like we love ourselves, right? And then we live in a happy world because we're all helping each other and supporting each other and loving to see each other being happy and fulfilled, and loving to see each other grow, and all together, no competition, no war, no. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Well, I believe it is possible. I don't believe it is possible, unfortunately, in my lifetime, but I do believe that my lifetime is at service for this unity in a bigger sense. And I keep doing my inner work. I keep doing this artist's way, even though I fail, even though I don't complete everything. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going because I'm not here to be perfect. I'm here to live this life the best way that I can. And Maybe I'm gonna still make a lot of mistakes. Maybe I'm still gonna fail a lot of times and not do my morning notes and all these things. And maybe I won't. I don't know what a new day reserves. Maybe something will click inside of me that I will be able to cultivate this consistency that I so much want. Or maybe I won't, and I'm just slowly and surely getting to the point that it's all about acceptance. It's about awareness, self-awareness, and acceptance. Because unless you accept what is, you have zero power to create any change. And unless you see it, you cannot accept what you cannot see. So I'm really voting, and this is what I'm trying to do in my classes. And in my Unleash Her class, what I did was a lot of prompting. But because my voice, my life's mission is to ask people questions, and when they hear these questions they cannot not answer them. So when I ask them to see something and they cannot not see it, and suddenly when they see it they cannot unsee it, and once you see it, it's out in the open. Now you have the power to do something about it. So I hope you join me on my next lesson. I am really considering doing one for the new moon. I'm going to be traveling for work, so I'm still figuring out how to do this, because the new moon is the 17th and I'm going to be on a world tour. But I do really want 17 or 16. I don't know. It's the new moon in Taurus. New moon. The next new moon in May. I will figure it out. I will write it down. So this new moon is all about feelings. It is in Taurus, and Taurus is the sacral chakra. So it's about feeling, empowering yourself in who you are in feeling, because the sacral chakra is all about feeling pleasure, feeling the creativity, feeling a lot of things. So I want to focus in this new moon. The other one was Unleash Her, because it's Aries. It's like it's the beginning. Let's unleash everything. But now we need to be present and feel, and I want to create a class for that. I hope you join me in this class and that you can experiment the power of your own transformation. I will just be a guide for that, and I hope you continue following me in this journey. And I hope that if I inspire you to start your own journey, because your inner artist is in there trying to get out. You need to unleash her. You need to let her be, and even if she's not perfect, even if she's gonna make mistakes, she still deserves the chance to try. And this is what I'm giving myself, and this is what I hope you give yourself. And I hope to see you next month for week 3. Oh my god. Oh no, I'll probably, I've been trying to be consistent on YouTube for 10 years. 10 years? No, oh god, what an exaggeration. Look, since 2020, that's when I started this channel, thinking, yes, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna post twice a week. Yeah, well, we're doing our best here, so I am doing my best. Thank you for showing up no matter what, even if you're embarrassed, and I am embarrassed not to have consistency. But I haven't had consistency, so this is what I'm gonna have to accept about myself and move forward. So be surprised. Maybe I will be next week with week 3. Maybe it's gonna take a month. Maybe it's gonna take another year. Zero expectations, but a lot of love and a lot of hoping that you will keep following me in this journey, and that if this resonated, if you are also in this energy field, let me know that I'm not alone in this whole story. DM me, text me, send me a message, or join my class so I can actually meet you live in person. Have a wonderful week. Mwah. Bye, my loves.